by Capcom, but that's where the initial thinking is.
Nice. Lots of fans should be very, very interested for that.
I hope so.
Oh yeah. Next question. We know that Mega Man ends up upgrading himself with the boss's various attacks and weapons after he defeats them.
Right.
Do you have any ideas of how you're going to be dealing with that?
One of the ways I prepared for the first script was I watched a speed run of the first game, saw which robot masters he fought in what order, which ones had the advantage over the others. Because I think that's one of the more interesting dynamics. If you have Mega Man standing there plinking away with the Mega Buster and taking forever, that's boring. If he has to think, if he has to apply his new weapons and new knowledge to the situation, that makes for a much more engaging and interesting confrontation between him and each of the robot masters. So that's what I'm going to be, at least that's going to be one stage of how I approach each story, is to see how the best course through the game is and how to turn that into an interesting story over time.
So we know you've got 10 games from the original Mega Man canon to work with. What are you going to end up doing once you've gone through Mega Man 1 through 10?
Well, also keep in mind that there were 5 Game Boy games, if I'm not mistaken, along with Rockman and Forte, or Mega Man and Bass, and Rockman and Forte 2 on the Wonder Swan. Yes, even that one is under consideration.
Nice.
And I want to be, and there's a loose timeline that fits most of this. Some of it's going to have to be, buffed so it fits, but I want to follow that whole timeline. I don't want to ignore any of the games if I can help it. Soccer aside, and again with our own original stories, that's a minimum of close to like 20 game-based stories. If we were to have an original story between each one of those, that's 40, and that's not just individual issues, that's story arcs. So we're not going to finish regular Mega Man, even if we tried, for a long time.
Nice.
What I'm hoping is that once we've shown how successful Mega Man will be, how much we're devoted to it, and how well it's doing, Capcom will open up and allow us to spin off into X, Zero, and the other flavors of Mega Man.
That would make everyone so happy, because we know there's more than just the original Blue Bomber out there. There's at least 12 different other ones, which if
and there's a real continuity between them all, where each one falls. Does Legends really happen at the end of it all? What happens in between Mega Man and Mega Man X? Excuse me, all that stuff.
Yep. Another question relating to original stories. Are there going to be any original characters made for the book?
If we do original characters, they will be supplemental. It's not like with Sonic you've got Sally and Bunny and Mina and all these very heavy original characters. I plan on keeping things as close to the games as possible. So, out of Light Labs, you've got Dr. Light, you've got Otto, you've got Eddie, you've got Roll, and you've got Rock. And right there, that's a pretty stable main cast to work with.
We know that Spaz is going to be penciling the first issue of Mega Man, which is awesome, because we know from his work with Dreamway on the previous series that he's Spaz. Come on. Well, yeah, he's God, basically. Basically, when it comes to these pencils. But can you tell us what other work he's doing? And also, he also noticed from the panel that Chad Thomas has done some concept art.
I am not sure what's going on with the artwork right now. Again, it's very early in the stages, so right now I'm focused completely on getting the scripts done and kind of just sitting back and letting the page art come in and going, ooh, how lovely. So I don't really know what we're doing yet.
Now, obviously, having the Blue Blur and the Blue Bomber under the exact same publishing house is like awesome.
Oh yeah.
But it also begs the question, crossovers.
No, not at least right now. I'm not going to say no, never, because I never thought we would get Mega Man. That came out of the blue. Ha ha. Boy. So don't hold your breath waiting for it, or you'll get blue in the face. I gotta quit that. I would love to see it happen, obviously, but it wouldn't be just us doing it. Sega would have to play ball, Capcom would have to play ball. There'd be a lot of legal back and forth. If it happens, awesome. If not, isn't surprising, and we'll just have to see.
And now moving on to the other title that you were just announced yesterday to be working on, Cosmo.
Yes.
Who is Cosmo?
Cosmo is a Martian from Mars. He and his best friend Orby, his quasi-love interest Astro with kind of shades of Amy Rose in there, and the wizened Professor Thimk. T-H-I-M-K. Thimk.
That's a lot of consonants.
I love it. They get caught up in this adventure that initially will take them to Earth and then will open up the entire solar system and galaxy beyond. And it will be them adventuring from world to world, culture to culture, fever dream to fever dream, and just getting into wild and wacky adventures.
So what sorts of stories do we expect?
There will be, the first story arc is going to be a little more plot driven, just set up who everyone is. Cosmo is going to be embroiled in a plot to invade the Earth over Floss. I don't really want to say too much more about that. And from there it will be, again, going to the different planets, meeting the Venusian giants, the talking vegetable people of Saturn. The funny thing about Saturn, it's got a foam ring around the outside.
Yes, it does.
And they use that to bounce the moons back into orbit. Yeah, that's what the Saturnian vegetable people do. So, I mean, again, we're just going to have fun with it. It's going to be, can we do this? Yes. Run with it.
Nice. Also, we know that the original series came out in 1958. Are there going to be any references to it, or is this going to be a complete reboot?
The original series in 1958 lasted 6 issues, which saw Cosmo and Orby, his best friend Orby, coming to Earth, going to the moon, meeting the Oogs and the Gillywumps on the light and the dark side of the moon, to be specific.
Nice.
Adventuring off to Saturn, and then coming back to Mars to stop what was his name? Professor Jitterbug, I think. No, that's not right. To prevent a Martian invasion.
Nice.
But it was only those 6 issues, which they were fun. I mean, I've gotten a chance to read them, but they didn't go far enough into, down the rabbit hole, the complete madness. So we're going to be spinning out a lot of that. I want to be true to the original stuff, that Mars is a civilized world, that, again, the Saturnian vegetable people, that was straight out of the original stuff. We're also going to be very faithful to the original designs, but we're also going to update it for more modern art styles. And again, we're just going to have fun with it. We're going to go crazy with it. And the sky's the limit. Not beyond the sky, the stars. And onward, and slogans and taglines. Buy the book.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it, and so will many others.
I'm excited. Really excited.
Yeah, I myself am probably going to end up starting to pick up 4 books from Archie Comics a month. Oh, dear God.
Hey, you're just reading them. I got to write them.
True. True. Also, with the release schedule, is it going to be Mega Man?
I have no idea what the order is going to be at this point. Mega Man is due out in the spring of next year. Cosmo was just approved. I don't even know if we have a timetable for that, and Sonic's going to just keep plugging along with the archives and Sonic Selects, which are finally getting back into circulation.
Which we've been waiting for a long time, and greatly look forward to seeing Volume 3. Thank you for your time, Ian.
All right. Everyone on the internet, I bid you adieu.
Thank you.